race fans, the 2026 Hard MTB Series season starts today with our qualification event. Last fall, we had an exhibition right here at the same venue where we proved the concept of this wild race format. Today, 8 women and 8 men will earn their spots into the 2026 finals coming up in October, Mikey.
Yeah, this year we're going a full series for the Hard MTB League, kicking things off with this qualifying event. We've had more than 35 riders on our start list, and that number has been dropping just based on the technicality of some of these courses. We're in for some really exciting racing.
I mean, they call it Hard MTB for a reason, and until you walk around this venue, it's hard to wrap your mind around how technically challenging all 3 of these downhill stages are, right?
Well, yes, and you're seeing the best riders in the world from all disciplines. I mean, we've got riders that grew up in enduro racing, we've got riders that are downhill specialists, and we've got slalom gated racing specialists. And if you're walking around this course listening to the chatter, the murmurs, not a single rider here is saying, man, this is an easy track for me to figure out. Every single rider is struggling with something.
Some of the most technically talented riders in the world are struggling. That really says something. Stick right there. Hard MTB Qualifier 2026 coming your way.
Well, we've talked a little bit about some of the riders here, and now we're going to get down to what's really causing issue, and that is the courses here at Hard MTB. Cam, why don't we go over stage number 1?
Well, stage number 1 is the tech rhythm, and that is the stage that's been lighting up your Instagram feed lately. These rhythms are so tight, you can't even fit a bike in some of these transitions. There's a massive, quite steep cannon log at the top. There's numerous shark fins throughout a whoop section that is, just as steep as you'd find in a supercross race. And the final straightaway, that's where it's at. There's only a handful of riders who are able to gap out of the shark fin into the double, into the quad. But guess what? Even those riders who are able to do that aren't able to do it every run in practice. The pressure comes down to the final runs. Part of the format out here is each rider has to choose one bike. And each of these stages require, ideally a different bike, but definitely a different setup. Mikey, what type of modification do you think some of the riders will be making to their bike between the tech rhythm and then stage 2, the raw slalom?
Well, raw slalom is definitely going to be my personal favorite stage. It takes all the skills you need for mountain biking and focuses them down into about a 30-second run on essentially natural terrain. Yeah, Hard MTB has taken that up another level by taking not only just natural flat corners, letting the ruts develop into bottom bracket, sometimes axle deep ruts, and then just for good measure, we're gonna put some logs right exiting those corners. And we saw some riders get bit by those logs in qualifying yesterday. It's gonna be who can keep it the most consistent on a very difficult, much changing course for the raw slalom. Well, after a very different bike setup between stage 1 and 2, between the tech rhythm and then the raw slalom, riders are going to have to completely flip their brains for a new event specific to this Hard MTB League, and that is the technical climb. Cam, we got a lot going on this. Let's give it a little bit of breakdown for our viewers.
Climbing. I mean, all these riders are downhill riders. They love the stages that are going down the hill. This is the stage that the riders are dreading right here. Braden Bringhurst, the mastermind of Hard MTB League, he loves climbing, and he's going to be putting the riders through their paces. 4 technical sections on the climb this year.
That's right. Each one of those climb sections is going to have a point value assessed to it. Unlike our other 3 stages, which are weighted and golf-style point format, lowest score wins, the climb is going to be a cumulative completion-based system. So 10 points available through each of those 4 sections. The first section is technically the easiest, so minimal points there, with the second section being the most consequential. 4 points available for our riders there on the climbs. And it is completion-based, so the riders must complete the section to be eligible for those separate cash prizes.
I think my favorite part about the climb this year, though, is it's not added up to the tally for the overall for the 3 main downhill stages. It's its own separate event, which will make it fun for the crowd out here as well.
Well, and it is a requirement for all these riders. If they want to get a time for the final, they must at least make a college try on each of these 4 technical sections. And I'll tell you, looking at practice, that section 2, I don't think I saw a single rider clean it, e-bike or analogs. This is going to be really fun to watch. We've gotten through 3 of our 4 stages. We've gone through the climb. We're going to go ahead and re-rack for our final and fourth stage in that reverse order. So our best point total riders from those first two stages, the raw slalom and the tech rhythm, are going to be re-racked with our top-seeded riders going last in that downhill section. What are we looking at in that downhill section though, Cam?
First of all, I'm so excited that we are re-racking, having the fastest riders drop last. The riders who, you know, it's theirs to lose will be the final ones to drop down the hill with the opportunity of taking the overall. The course itself is a masterpiece. You imagine trying to make a World Cup level downhill course on a hill that is this small. They've done it. They've figured out how to catch lightning in a bottle and put it in this arena. How do you do that? Lots of drops. A lot of drops in quick succession. I've seen some sneaky lines out there, some transfers up the hill to get some more outside in runs into some of these corners. But there's been a lot of riding on this downhill trail, and the course is deteriorating. Some of those corners are just puffballs of powder, but you gotta finish off the entire event with a Showtime booter at the bottom, which the finish line is before the lip, but it's an opportunity for the riders to show off for the crowd as well.
Well, and that's basically what that booter is for. That is for you, the crowd, and for those lucky enough to be here out in Boise joining us at this kickoff of the 2026 Hard MTB League Series. Getting ready to kick things off with stage number one, Cam.
We got the technical rhythm.
And it's going to be the opening stage here, 2026 Hard MTB. Ladies are going to kick things off. Who do we have dropping in first?
It is going to be Olivia Silva. Just moments ago, she was putting on a show for you on the whip-off jump. She was the first rider to drop in, the last rider to drop in. She chucked that tuck no-hander, and she will be the first rider to drop in stage one for the women into that fourth spot, which, as we just illustrated, it's all about the number next to your name here with this golf scoring.
Oh, take a look at that line. Olivia was able to use the wall of that course to not drop all the way into that super deep transition, but still keep the tires on the correct side of the pylon. Super creative riding from the youngster.
Kind of like that Rotorua downhill whoop section beeline right there, the option.
That is a callback right there. Olivia Silva, another Schlabel top there at the end. Run number two. Let's see how she stacks up. Time coming in. She does improve 30.65, but not enough to move her up any position. Still, Taylor Osgard with that 30.43 in fourth. We've got the Ari Bikes and local phenom, April Zastro. She's been working through this course all week long. If you follow along with any of these riders' Instagram, you've seen the struggles, and those are the ones they're willing to post out here at Hard MTB. April about to drop in on her bid for this tech rhythm. She opts to go around that cannon log feature. It's going to take her a little bit longer to go around, but a lot smoother entrance into that big berm.
Yeah, that will police itself. Obviously, the faster line is taking the cannon log.
Gets the double-double through the whoops. Misses out on the last one, but is able to keep the rubber side down, keep it rolling forward. Now, this last straightaway, Cam, is where we saw a lot of riders struggling.
Yeah, I mean, for a good reason. There's some crazy options here you'll see as we work our way through the field today. Here's an example of how you can make it through. Pay attention to what will come next. Let's hear it for April Zastro.
April's time. April's time, 36.6. So unofficially sitting in the number two spot right now. As the next rider to drop in is the winner of your whip-off. Mayumi Wakefield now ready to drop in on her second run. Transition bike rider getting ready to drop in on her second bid, trying to improve from that number 7 position right now. 31.88 was her score on run 1. Now charging hard into that cannon log.
I know Mayumi has what it takes to go faster than that 31.88 if she can put the pieces together, put the bike in the right spot in these transitions.
Gets that final double through the whoop section, riding real high in these corners. Let's see if it translates to a little bit extra speed in this final rhythm. Gets the step up, pumping hard, pushes that hard gear, and gets the double out.
So I think it's going to be close. Yeah, 31.68. So she betters her time from run number 1, but once again, not enough to move up in the rankings. Mayumi Wakefield will remain in 7th place.
Next rider loading into our gate, Sophie Allen, the Kona rider, getting situated here on run number 2. Her run number 1 time, 31:27. So again, she's gonna have to take out over a second if she wants to move into that top 3 position. If she can pull out about 3/4 of a second, she will move up at least 1 position, bumping Olivia Silva down. This is going to be an interesting shakeup. I'm really liking the golf scoring system here for this qualifier.
I like it too. I feel like it's a little bit easier to follow as we work our way through the different stages. And I think we'll really have a clear picture of who we're rooting for and what's at stake once we get to that final stage, the downhill trail. Sophie Allen back for more, coming off of a 5th place from the 2025 exhibition.
Gets the step up nice and clean, pedaling hard into that double.
Can she better the 31.27 she posted in run number 1? Let's see what we got here.
Time coming in for Sophie, 30.39, so she does move herself into the number 4 spot.
Way to go, Sophie.
We told her she needed to take about a second out of her time. She did exactly that, and she
took your advice.
Now the next rider to put in her bid is the Canyon Factory ride out of Yakima, Washington, Taylor Osgard.
Taylor Osgard, does she have what it takes to go faster than 31.26? Congrats to Olivia for posting that time that is standing up for so long. Here we go.
Nice and smooth over the cannon log there for Taylor. Pumping hard through those first through shark fin options. Now into this 6-pack whoop section. You can see those compressions are not even a bike length, but she makes it through nice and smooth, pumping through these S-berms. Now, Cam, this finish straight is really going to be the deciding factor.
I'll tell you what, we have an educated crowd out here. You heard them holler when she made it so clean through those whoops. They know what they're watching.
And we have a new leader, new fastest time, 30.43. 30.43, the time for Osgard, with just 3 riders left at the top in our ladies field. And the next one to drop in is our youngster, Fiona Pitcock, having to take on the world's best here at Hard MTB League. Fiona on course, nice and smooth over the cannon log. Gets that front wheel down over those super steep rollers in the midsection. And now into the whoops. Super hard pumps through those S-berms. Let's see if she can carry the speed. Gets the step up. Nice and smooth over that pedal hard. Gets the double out. Double to finish. Fiona Pitcock. I looked up for the time, I didn't see, but she is the new fastest time. 29.93 for the local girl.
Well, I was staring at the times as well, but we just got the peanut gallery over here letting us know there's a 1-footed can over the finish line jump. Gotta love it.
Well, another rider making a big trip over from Australia, having some bike issues early in the week. That's what this event is about. Riders pooling together, getting her a bike, and now she here is the second to last rider to drop in our women's field. Maddie Lloyd from Australia on course.
All right, we've broken that 30-second mark now, but as we mentioned before, this is reverse order with our fastest riders from seeding dropping in last, so the potential for cranking things up here is alive and well.
Maddie gets the 6-pack line through the whoop section and is pedaling hard through those S-berms.
Oh, yeah.
Pushing through that step up. We haven't seen that before. Big hard gear over those final 2 features. Time coming in.
So close.
30.17, 30.17, the time for Maddie Lloyd, unofficially in the number 2 spot with your 2025 champion and number 1 seed, the Ari Bikes rider, ready to drop in.
I mean, talk about dominance out here. Defending champion comes out, seeds first. She'll be dropping in last right now with the time to beat a 30.43. 29.93, exactly.
Kaylee dropping in, charging hard into that cannon logs, hard on the brakes. She gets that big first pump and already back on the gas around the outside of that shark fin, pedaling into the 6-packs, keeping it super smooth. Gets the double out of the berm into the S-berms. Kaylee Skelton is on a tear right now. Almost tucks the front there, gets it clean, up and over the double, sprinting.
What's it gonna be?
28.53, new fastest time. And just to run through, that means that Kaylee Skelton will collect 1 point so far for this tech rhythm. We're doing golf scoring style, so first place 1 point, second place 2, lowest score of the 3 stages at the end will be your champion.
I really like this method of scoring it this year. It makes it a little bit easier to follow, but also the tiebreaker is basically whoever's fastest, so we will resort back to taking a look at those times at the end if we end up with a tie.
Well, we're going to go ahead and move things along into our men's field. A rider that we weren't sure was going to be able to make the start due to some of those injuries Braden spoke about. But if there's an Ironman award, I think it should go to this young man out of San Diego, California. Let's hear it from Mr. Cody Johnson, the first of our men in this best of 2 run format on the tech rhythm.
What a warrior. We've got a note here on our start list that he's not going to be dropping, like you mentioned, and here he is putting the pieces together to give it a whirl.
And he gets the shark fin out of that first corner, super consequential. And I know one of the injuries he's nursing is a hand injury. So you can imagine just how hard it is to hold on for these gaps. And he gets the gap to map out of the berm. And the double out. Cody is putting it down right now, up and over the step up. How about that?
You can see how delighted he is with his decision to push through the pain and drop into this technical rhythm stage.
26:31, the time to beat there for Cody Johnson. And we'll give it to him with the battle he's had here this week. That means the rider who set the fastest time early in our meds field and is now sitting in 5th is going to be the first to drop in here on run number 2. Mitch Ropalato with a 22.23 in run 1. He needs to beat a 21.48 of Nick Nesterov. He wants to get that top points position.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I love watching Mitch Ropalato backed into a corner right here. He does not want that number 5 next to his name. He's going to do what he can to get that number 1 back. Oh my. Wow, what will the time be for that one?
Time coming in, Mitch Ropalato, 21.48. He runs a 21.60, so slotting himself into second right now. There's a reason there was a number 1 next to his name under this stage. Well, from a rider who is born and bred in Utah to an up-and-coming rider from Utah, we should be seeing Rome Winnie loading in the gate out of Draper. He's on that Coleman-Saul trail bike. We saw him throwing down in the whip-off. Let's see how he goes in this tech rhythm.
What tough time to beat here with that 22.23 just set from Mitch. Oh!
Somehow holds on to that, gets the double-double with the fast plant on the wall. And that is why these riders get a best of 2 run format. A little bit of a wild run right now for Rome.
Well, if you didn't believe us when we told you how tight these transitions are, there you have it. A good example right there of what can happen if you're even a couple millimeters off of your timing.
How about that for reactions? Rome pulling a 26 seconds flat, 26 seconds flat for Rome as we look back to the top. Rider out of Quebec. Doing it for Fox, Maxis, and Dragonfly. This is Tristan Lemire. We saw some really good showing from him in some of the other stages. Struggling a little bit to find consistency here on the Tech Rhythm. Let's see how he goes here in run one. Gets the six-pack line out of the first corner and the burn press out.
Whoa, he's blitzing. Tristan Lemire back for more, coming off of his 10th place at last year's exhibition.
Gets the step up and the step off. A little bit of a hang-up, but able to keep the rubber side going forward. And the time for Tristan. 23:47 the time for Lemire. Back up to the top, another one of our youngsters, local boy Ari Bikes Ride. Let's hear it for Mr. Ryan Chase, ready to drop in on his first of 2 Tech Rhythm runs. Dropping in 2 hard pedal strokes off the cannon log, goes a little bit deep, is able to hold it together, nosing into that first dub. Oh, and gets buck wild. When we say riders of the best caliber struggle to make consistent laps on this Tech Rhythm, you're seeing just that.
Well, that's why we got 2 opportunities at each stage for every rider. If you have a mistake in run number 1, well, you got to pick yourself back up, get back to the top of the course, and see if you can fix it in run number 2.
And this just shows you, after you have an issue up high on track, you don't see riders still gapping down here at the bottom. That's just how difficult it is to even ride through these sections. So that time of 39 plus will not be the time that Ryan wants to stick with as we head to the top. From Eastern Canada to the UK, making the trip over, GMBN presenter Fergus Ryan on the propane.
Well, huge opportunity to improve in the rankings here after issues in run number 1.
Yeah, currently sitting in 20th with a 28.93. And he's definitely got a little bit more time in the tank based on what we saw in practice. Let's see if he can throw down here in this best of 2 run format. Into the final rhythm, 1 more set of doubles. And it will be Fergus Ryan, 28.73, so he does improve only by a couple tenths. Not enough to move up in position, but still an improvement on time.
All right, look at this. Next up, the new Boise resident, Tommy Zula, from the flatlands of Ohio to the mountains of the West here. He's loving every minute of it. And if I remember correctly, there was some room for improvement from his first run.
Yeah, we saw him getting the A line in practice pretty consistent. He had to go with the B line, and that made him run a 24-second time, about 2 seconds off of those fastest riders hitting the A line. Here's where it really comes down to execution. Gets smooth through the corner. Does he get the pull? He does. Gets it smooth, gets the off, gets a pedal even. Triples out. Tommy Zula, 24.52 was the time to beat. We wait for the time here in run number 2. 23.62, so definitely improvement. And that's going to move him up into the top 10 right now. Into 10th as they run, Tommy Zula. As we look up to the start hill, another local boy, Devin DeBrule. I believe he's still on the Giant Ride. Flag me if I'm wrong, but Devin will be dropping in here in just a minute. I know he's got a big cheering crew from the DD squad down here in the corral off that cannon log.
Sometimes I think they're going so long off of that cannon, right at 90-degree right-hand corner.
Nice and smooth around that berm, gets the pull out, sets up a little wide. Like you said, Cam, not perfectly far riders right, but still able to get the B line nice and smooth. Nose bonk in, and the time will stop for Devin DeBrule. 25.07 unofficially into 4th.
run number 2. We take a look at who's coming up next.
John Simek moving in to the gate. Free racer, showing he is not just a style cat. He has some speed to back it up. Currently sitting in 16th with a lot more left in the tank, Cam.
Sitting on a 24.77. Let's see if John can get this shark fin down there into the final straightaway. Definitely room for improvement.
Nice and smooth off of that second shark fin. Keeps that big e-bike planted through the whoops. Now here's where it really matters. Gets the open, gets the pull.
Nice.
All the way up and over. A little bit of a case. Can he make it through? Hang on to it, Johnny. John Simek holds on to the Bucking Bronco for a 24.67. So moves him right where he was in 16th. Is that an identical time? I'm gonna have to look at the results again.
It was so close to his run one time. We'll get him back up for another run.
Back up to the top, choosing to ride a full analog this week on the transition. Let's hear it for Cameron Joy, longtime enduro and a slalom racer, now challenging this hard MTB Tech Rhythm. 2 big, strong pedals out into the cannon log, Cam.
Love to see it squashing out of that cannon log, coming in faster than you need to connect to the transition, but just using his on-bike skill to make sure that he puts it to the top of the landing. Here, is he going to get the shark fin transfer?
A little bit of a square off in that corner, but gets smooth over the double-double. So time coming in for Cameron, 24.52, 24.52, just sliding him into the 3rd spot right now. So 3 points for Cameron. Tristan holding on to 2. Mitch in the lead still with 1 point. Going back to the top, the Cannondale rider, Alex Blanner. This is one of our wild men to watch.
Yeah, but take a look. Issues in run number 1, sitting in last place, 43 seconds. This could really shake up the leaderboard.
Well, he completely jumped off the track in run 1, trying to go for that A-line. Let's see if he can tidy things up. He's looking super smooth up at the top. Oh,
come on,
bit of a
keep
stall
going.
out in the shark fin.
He has so much room for improvement. He has to push through no matter what happens in this run.
And here it is. Oh, gets the case.
Yes,
goes
come
for
on
the
now.
pull. Gets it.
There we go. Hey, this could be all the difference when we get to the end of the day here. Way to go, pushing through Alex Blanner. Let's hear it for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the definition of never give up. Alex Blanner had mistake after mistake and somehow still able to improve. 23.86. Time for Blanner. Moving him into 12th right now. Big improvement out of the 21st.
That's the never give up attitude right there that enabled him to move up 10 spots in the rankings. And when we get to that downhill stage and we're thinking back to what happened, and stuff like that is what we're going to be talking about.
Well, back to the top. We're talking about heavy hitters now into the pointy end of our seating. The Specialized ride, Bass Van Steenbergen. Bass currently sitting just outside the top 10, looking in 11th right now, 23.85. He needs about a quarter of a second if he wants to move up into the top 10.
Is Bass about to put on a clinic here?
Ooh, watch that front end. You saw struggling for traction there. Gets the on-off, but not the A-line you know he wanted.
Trying to beat that 23.85.
Did you get a start for him? Do you have a radio? Radio? Nice. I didn't get a start for Bass.
So waiting for that time to come in.
So not getting a time yet for Bass Van Steenbergen may mean we had timing issues. We're looking into it right now as the drums continue to roll, wondering if Bass is moving up those rankings. Currently sitting in 11th position right now. Got our timing and scoring crew on the case. There we go. We just have the time coming in right now at 23.53. Bass van Steenbergen moves one spot up into 10th.
So that's going to bump Tommy Zula down into 11th as we look back to the top for the young outlaw rider on that new Intense Spider, Boston Bryant. Dropping in here on run number 2. Sitting in 15th right now, 24:38 his time. And again, all he needs is a couple tenths to move up quite a few places and try and drop some of those points in this golf format style race.
All right, Boston Bryant on course. Let's see if he can move up the rankings. As you say, currently sitting in 15th place. Whoa, good save. Oh.
Boston is leaving everything on track right now. And Cam, this is one of those things I keep noticing with the riders that are really consistent. That right-hand berm after the second rhythm, you can watch the front wheel of the riders that are really pushing is dancing around all the way through the corner, and the riders that are using every inch are keeping it smooth. As the time for Boston Bryant, he does improve, 23:35. So Boston Bryant into 7th right now, cutting his field in half from 15th to 7th place, shaking things up. This was a rider on the start list, Cam, that I did not have a lot of information for, so I went up and asked him point blank. I saw him on the Frameworks bike, Lucas Dodora on that new Frameworks program. This kid grew up as an XC racer till about 10. He went to one of the Highland mountain bike camps and instantly said, I'm ready to race downhill, and has been chasing it ever since.
It turns out gravity is fun. You taste a little of that blood and you want to kill again. Here we go.
Well, gets that killer instinct out of the first berm, gets the six-pack line now into the whoop section. Nice and smooth, getting some backside, generating speed on that Frameworks. Oh, a little bit of a nose case there into the final berm, but he gets the on-off. Now into the final section, breaks the beam. Lucas Dodora, 24:15 into 4th. And we see those times ticking down, seeding, getting close to the top 3, but still 22:09, the time to beat by Mitch. Well, a rider who can definitely improve on this 14th position from run 1, Kyle Strait, 24:15, after dragging about 2/3 of that step-up landing with him, is putting in his second run, Cam.
Oh yeah, sitting in 14th place. If he cleans this run, expect to see him move up.
I would say very easily into the top 10. Look at how high he was on that corner.
Nobody's going higher in that left-hand berm than Kyle Strait.
Super smooth from the berm to berm. Another bit of a case. Somehow gets through it a little bit smoother that time. Sprinting all the way through the finish. Kyle wants to move up. 23:89 he does. But not enough to move up position. Still right behind Alex Blanner in 13th, 23:89 and 14th place points. The youngster on the full analog Yeti, Connor Kassler. He was kind of a dark horse yesterday, quietly sliding into the top 5 in all of our seeding runs. And now here he is in the final on his first of 2.
Connor Kassler. Let's see if he can climb up high in those berms like Kyle Strait was just doing. That was one thing I noticed about Kyle's run that really was helping him carry speed and put that bike in the right spot, climbing up high into those berms. There we go, going for the beeline, but carrying great speed.
And gets the triple over.
Tripling over on the final jump. What's this time gonna be? That was impressive. 23.49 into 3rd place for Connor Kassler. Let's see if Luca Cometti can join the 21 club. Is there a fake ID for that?
Well, considering he's filming the Unk chats for Vital, I don't think he has to worry about getting ID'd anymore.
What does that make us? If Luca Cometti is an Unk, what are we, grandparents or something?
I think we're the ancestors.
Jeez Louise, there's not even a Gen Z slang for what we are anymore.
Well, we mentioned this rider was a tactician, and we saw those tactics right there. Luca Cometti waiting to start at the top, looking at all the course features, looking at those wind socks at the bottom, making sure that he's going to have the perfect conditions to try and challenge. 22:61 was his time on run number 1. Nice and high through the berm. Gets through the corner. Does he get the pull? He does.
Baby.
Nice and low, squashing through the quad.
What's it going to be?
Luca Cometti, 22:61 on run number 1. What does he have here on run number 2? 22:42, so improvement on the time, but not enough to move ahead of the 22:09 of Max Clark. So 6 place points for Luca Cometti.
Hey, you know what? You never know when you'll end up in a tie at the end of the day as well. So it's not all for nothing when you improve your time in run number 2.
Well, the rider that unlocked the A-line, unlocked all of the lines out here at Hard MTB is the Kona ride, the new Monster Energy rider, Eddie Reynolds out of Coronado, California. If you want to see style embodied on a bike, keep your eyes glued to this tech slalom right now, folks.
Did he just nose press off of the
Casual nose press off the cannon. You're lucky he didn't 360 it like yesterday.
Is he racing or filming a video part?
Yes is the answer to all of the above. Is Shreddy Reynolds landing so smooth, so dialed, nosing in, quadding all the way to the finish.
What is the time going to be? Oh, baby! 21.8, fastest time of the day.
Eddie Reynolds has broken things open here in the tech rhythm. Number 1 spot, 21.80. Well, we went from one of the steeziest free riders on the circuit to one of the steeziest racers on the circuit. Out of Utah for Specialized, Cody Kelly with the blonde locks flowing out the back, putting his bid in here. Run number 1, tech rhythm.
All right, Cody Kelly on course. The new time to beat at 21.8. We know Cody Kelly has what it takes to beat that time if he can draw this line. Here we go. Will he make the shark fin transfer into the final straightaway? We know it's mandatory to get that top spot. He doesn't get it.
Gets the pump, though, and the triple, so it'll be a good time. Will it challenge for a top 3? That's going to be the question here for Cody Kelly. 23:36 into 4th right now. 4th place points for Cody Kelly as we head back to the top. A rider that kind of came out of, I won't call it nowhere, but a rider that definitely surprised us as he is a first-timer here at the Hard MTB League, coming out of Carmichael, Northern California for Ibis Bikes. Max Clark ready to drop in, riding a bigger, full-powered e-bike. Watching him through this tech rhythm is impressive, folks.
Looking at the seating results from yesterday, you're like, okay, this kid means business, and is eyeing up that podium.
And just keep an eye on the size of the bike in comparison to the size of the rider and how hard he has to work to get those wheels into those transitions. Whoa. Max Clark ripping through. Does he get the big gap? He does. Even overshoots it and gets the quad.
No way. What is this time going to be, Mikey?
Max Clark, 22.09 into 2nd right now. So Mitch Ropolato setting an early lead, but now relegated to 3rd place points. As we head back to the top, gonna be the best he can do with 2 riders left at the top, Nick Nesteroff and Tegan Cruz, the RE Bikes riders. Tegan in the bronze position, looking to unseat his teammate Nick, wanting to put in a bit of a safety run and make sure he can stay out in the lead and keep that pole position going into stage 2.
It's only a 12/100th of a second lead, so let's see what he can do here.
21:28 for Nick Nesteroff. He goes faster again. Nick Nesteroff has found another gear.
Well, the best defense is a strong offense there. Nick Nesteroff with the 2 fastest times of the day on stage 1.
Well, if anyone can break down a 21.4, it is the teammate, the new RE Bikes rider, and the 2025 Hard MTB League Exhibition winner out of Pemberton, Canada, Tegan Cruz, ready to drop in run number 1, best of 2 here at the Hard MTB League Qualifiers.
Well, your defending champion, Tegan Cruz, has been ruling with an iron fist throughout seeding. He's got an opportunity to carry that momentum right now, put his name at the top of the leaderboard. He needs a flawless run.
So high in that berm, using every ounce for speed. Gets a little pull.
Perfect.
Little bit of a pull there. And
it's
nice
on.
and butter smooth all the way into that final. Time to beat is a 21:48 by his teammate Nick Nesterov. Time for Tegan Cruz, 21:66. So into second. How about that, Cam? Top 3 separated by less than 0.4 of a second.
My goodness.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up stage number 1 here, Hard MTB League Qualifiers 2026.
Let's hear it for the riders. I think the biggest surprising takeaway for me after watching all those second runs is how you see some runs that look absolutely flawless and you go, all right, that is going to be an improvement of their score. And then you see the time coming in and it's actually slower.
That's what this is so interesting to watch, and it's another aspect where this point scoring system is going to change the event so much more. If this was cumulative times, those riders would be really struggling after having a run with 2 mistakes or 3 mistakes. Now they can go ahead and throw that run, this entire stage, into the rear view and just try and focus on the next 3 going forward.
Well, let's talk about what stage we have coming up next and what impact on the conditions of that stage this heat might play. Next stage, Mikey, raw slalom.
I'm doing my little happy dance because this is absolutely my favorite form of mountain bike racing. You could put grass stakes in a field and tell 10 riders to go as fast as they can. I think that's the best type of mountain bike race that's ever been invented. And that's essentially what Braden Bringhurst and the crew have done here. They just did it on steroids. So they took this very steep, very rugged, hard MTB League arena, and they just decided, I'm going to make a turn here, regardless of what the hillside looked like, regardless of how off camber it was. And then just to add a little bit more insult to injury, you'll see out of a lot of these corners, there's some big railroad tie size logs ready to grab wheels, grab pedals. And we saw in practice some riders even going full Superman out of corners in a slalom event. No jumps.
Technical in a different way. The technicality of stage number 1 was all about precision in timing, a lot of rhythm sections, a lot of big banked out berms where you have to set up wide in order to accelerate through the apex. The corners on this raw slalom, this caters toward a completely different skill set.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another thing that we spoke about in the open of the show, that these riders are having to choose the same bike for all 4 of these stages. Now, they are allowed to do a little bit of setup change. They could even change parts if they have the time and want to, but it really comes down to a balanced setup for all 4 courses with minimal changes to try and excel in something like this raw slalom.
Well, it's on. I can't wait to see who rises to the surface in this second stage. And as we work our way through, and we're going to do climbing after that and then downhill, we're going to get to the point where we see who the best all-around rider is out here. And that, at the end of the day, is what it's all about at Hard MTB League.
That's right. This is supposed to be a showcase of the best overall mountain biker, not just the best downhill mountain biker. And that's why this is such a unique event, and that's why it's so much fun for all of us spectators and fans. We're going to be keeping the same start order from stage 1. That means Olivia Silva, the Canyon rider, is going to be kicking things off. So Olivia set to drop in here on run 1 of her raw slalom bid.
It's kind of nice, right? I mean, it's unfortunate to have to rerun, but you can kind of treat it as a practice run, get back up there and have another chance at improving those mistakes. Olivia looking strong so far. Foot out around that left-hander. Here's the crux coming up. Out of this right-hander, up and over the log. That log just wants to slide your front tire.
If you're lucky, it's a slide the front tire. If not, it's a dead stop to all your momentum.
For sure.
As Olivia Silva does the former rather than the latter, gets white flags all the way down, so this run will count 31:37, new fastest time for our pro ladies. Time to beat right now, Olivia Silva 31:37. That's going to be April Zastro, the RE Bikes and Boise local, dropping in here on her first run of 2 in the raw slalom.
Whoa, April nose manualing right out of the gate. Issues right away. You got to keep rolling. Here we go. She's still on track. I don't believe there's any missed gates or anything.
No, that was a legal gate. So she's just got to keep the tires on the correct side.
She was inspired by Eddie Reynolds' nose press off the cannon. She was looking to do that in the first straightaway of the raw slalom.
Well, April has been working on this log section all week long.
That is treacherous, those logs.
And it is definitely bitten her in the past, but she makes it through smooth here on run number 1. And she will break the beam here at the bottom. Mayumi Wakefield now in the gate, ready to drop in to try and get the lowest point total and set the fastest time here in this raw slalom. Gets through that first rut, takes a good strong pedal around the right-hander, and now's where the speed of this course really starts to pick up. Got a hard left-hander into a bit of a downhill chicane.
Here comes that log.
And this was causing haymakers to be thrown in seating yesterday. Nice. Mayumi gets the double, runs a little wide, but just has 2 more gates to go.
Oh,
and she does.
Yeah, white flag. Oh, it is so much easier said than done to keep your eyes up, looking ahead on this trail, but I feel like that has to be the most important thing. When you're coming into a corner that just looks like a pile of powder, it's so easy to just, stare at the pile of powder and end up one with the pile of powder. But to look out past the corner and allow your bike to make it there naturally is so much easier said than done.
Well, make some noise for the rider on course right now. The Kona Bikes ride, Sophie Allen, currently sitting 4th overall, 5th fastest time on run 1 with a 31:78. She needs to break that 29.4 to move into a podium position on this stage. Keeping the rubber side down through those last few logs. 1 more gate to go.
Oh, yeah.
And just getting through that final gate, 30.30, so she does improve on time and goes up 1 position.
Job
into
well
4th.
done.
Does what she needs to do, collecting those points. And now Taylor Osgard ready for her bid, run number 2 of the raw slalom.
Taylor Osgard sitting in 7th place overall right now, 8th in the times for stage number 2. Trying to beat a 44.39, so a lot of room for improvement here.
Well, she did nearly miss a gate and have to get off and go around in her first run. So if she just keeps a smooth top to bottom run, it will be a definite improvement. Let's see, though, if it's going to be enough to challenge for some of those podium positions. 25.78, still the time to beat by Skelton. A 29.4 will get you into that bronze medal position. She keeps the rubber side down, keeps it through those final gates. We're not going to make the same mistake twice.
Oh,
white flag at the finish. 28.71, so killer time there for Taylor Osgard. Fionn Pickstock getting ready to drop in here. Raw slalom, run number 1.
Yeah, Fionn looking smooth so far in the first 2 corners. Up and over the log, around that left-hander, keeping the feet on the pedals as well.
You can see her driving those feet down into the pedals to try and generate traction in these loose corners. And on the flat pedals as well. Super difficult on this raw slalom. She gets through legal corner. Time for Fionn. 29.40, new fastest time. And with that, she is your new pole position in the women's field with 3 points. And that's going to be tough to beat with only a few riders at the top. Somebody get her a moist towel to clean off that Boise dirt face.
Yeah, it's probably nice landing in the soft powder, except for the fact that the reason for crashing in the first place is the soft powder. Treacherous corners out here.
Well, Ryder is going to be used to that soft, dusty conditions out of Australia. Maddie Lloyd on course right now. She ran a very tidy third fastest time in run number 1. She's white flagged so far to the bottom. Nice and smooth through that log section. 2 more corners to go.
This could be quick.
Time coming in 28:42 for Maddie. That looks like it will be an improvement. Will it be enough to move her up in the overall? Second place overall, and second in the stage. Technically a tie overall with Fionn, but because she has a number 1 position, a 1 and a 3 means Maddie Lloyd is in the top spot with only 1 rider on course right now, ready to unseat her. And that is Kaylee Skelton.
Ooh, Kaylee's looking strong. Let's see if she can smash this top time.
Ripping through 1 gate to go for Skelton, and that is likely going to be a new fastest time of the day for our ladies. 25:78, ladies and gentlemen, by 3 seconds. Kaylee Skelton has dominated this Ross Slalom.
Does not take a mathematician to know if we're using golf scoring and you got first place in both of the first 2 stages, that 2 is looking pretty tough to beat.
That is going to wrap up run number 1 for our ladies. Moving into our men's field, the Iron Man of the 2026 Hard MTB League, Cody Johnson, ready to drop in on this Ross Slalom. This is definitely one of the stages that'll definitely suit this rider out of San Diego. Flat pedals and a slalom or small bike specialist, you might say.
You saw that front brake pivot move again there. Up and over the treacherous log, into the log rhythm.
Gets the 6-pack line, keeps those pedals moving. Cody Johnson has 2 more gates to go, and he does make it legal. Cody Johnson setting the time to beat in our men's field, 25.80, 25.80. The time for Cody Johnson back up to the top. Ladies and gentlemen, time to keep your eyes peeled. This man is on a mission. Mitch Ropolato had a wild first run. It started off weird and got weirder from there. Now he has to put in a top-to-bottom run or risk a DQ for the entire discipline.
I mean, this run right here has the most opportunity to really shake things up in the top 3. A second in stage number 1, a DQ in run 1 here of stage 2. Can he put together a smooth time? Look at that, through with the white flags.
White flags and a 23.78, 23.78. So that is going to change things up. Mitch definitely knows he could have gone so much faster, but he had to ride smooth to not miss a gate, and that's going to hurt him in the overall. As we take a look back to the top, Rome Winnie dropping in run number 2 here. Ross Slalom 2026 Hard MTB.
Rome grabbing gears there in that straightaway. Based on the sound anyways, it sounded like he was banging through the cassette. Rome finding opportunities to pedal anywhere he can here. Rodeos through the 6-pack log rhythm.
And that is white flags to the bottom, 25.66, 25.66, the time there for Rome.
Tristan Lemire coming up, the rider who posted that 22.69 very early on in run number 1, and that time stood up for quite some time.
Still think he's sitting in 4th overall in this field. Sorry, 3rd overall in this field. Let's see if he can uncork another one here. And he is already charging hard through this upper section of the track. Here goes the crux corner, super smooth and on the gas. Tristan Lemire is not giving any care about any part on that bicycle right now.
Oh man, did he go faster than he did in run number 1? Look at that.
22.09, lightning in a bottle for Tristan Lemire. 3rd fastest overall, currently sitting him in 5th. Back to the top, Fergus Ryan. Looks like he's modified that visor. It is back where it belongs. Nice and smooth through that big left. Very tighty, actually. We've seen a lot of riders throwing up a ton of roost in that corner. Fergus keeping it smooth. Let's see how it pays off for him on the time portion. Keeps it tighty through the logs, aims the right side of the gate. And it will be a top-to-bottom run for Fergus. 27-13. 27-13. Tommy Zula.
Is that Zami Tula?
Zami Tula on course. Mr. Ohio is Ohioing no more. Runs a little wide into that right-hander, but keeps it pointed north-south. 2 more hard pedal strokes, and he's going to be into the last 3 gates. Gets it around the right side.
I'm really curious what the time's going to be right there because he looked smooth. Was he deceivingly fast?
25.70. So smooth may not equal fast on this raw slalom. And now the Ibis Bikes rider, bleeding deity, Devin DeBrule, loading in the gate. He's a full nearly 3 seconds, almost 3.01 seconds ahead of the silver spot held down by Tommy Zula. But if anybody's going to challenge and knows this local Boise dirt, it is this young man, Devin DeBrule, on track.
Ooh, Devin DeBrule looking aggressive. When we said Tommy was looking smooth, this is looking aggressive. Let's see if the time will reflect the aggression.
Got a little stalled out in that left-hand corner. You saw that big plume of dirt.
Clean through the last gate.
Time 25.14, so aggressive, maybe a slightly better time than Zula, but still, that run by Lemire was on another level right now. Back to the top, John Simek for Marin Bikes, and unfortunately, he had a DQ in run 1 on that final gate, so this is another rider that really needs to be consistent as well as fast here on a no consequence, or all consequences second run.
Yeah, putting it all on black here. When you have an issue in run number 1, it is all on the line there. Unfortunately, a little set down there, but making it through the gates.
Keeping it tighty, he does. As we said, he knows he has to keep it consistently smooth and get a finish all the way at the bottom. Maybe sacrificing a little bit of raw speed for that consistency. And this is where it came unglued on run 1, but all smooth sailing here on run 2.
He just kind of took a little break up there, you know. Thought, hey, this looks like a nice place to sit down and take a little break.
Simek, 28.52, 28.52, so that time will count, but it's going to put him a bit far down the running order. Unofficially 19th as they run right now. Cameron Joy holding it down for the Amish bike riders here all week long. Nice and tight. He gets that enduro nose pick around the corner super fast, not just styling. Oh, pushing that front wheel out of that right-hand corner.
That was impressive.
Keeping the power down here all the way into the finish straight. One more corner to go for Cameron, and it is white flag at the finish. 23.08, killer time there, 23.08. Gonna have to scroll all the way up my sheet to see where that slots in. Looks like into the top 6 right there overall as we take a look at Alex Blanner. He was our dark horse, and he is proving it here again, pushing super hard at the bottom, not leaving anything on the course.
Wow.
One more gate to go. Legal there for Blanner. That might be the smoothest through those final 3 gates we've seen. 22.57. 22.57 the time for Blanner. As we look to the top, Bass Van Steenbergen dropping in. Bass currently just inside the top 15. Currently sitting in that number 14 spot. You know he really wants to try and get into the top 8 and make his bid for the finals here in the fall.
It's a great point to bring up. Aside from prize money today, the big picture is securing one of those top 8 spots.
24.45 for Bass. So currently 15 points as they run for Bass. Looking up to the top, Boston Bryant, the outlaw rider on that new intense Spider. We saw him get a little buck wild in both of his tech rhythm runs. Let's see if he can be a little tidier here in the raw slalom. Already starting off with a bunch of power.
Yeah, he is exploding.
Somehow able to keep that front wheel away from that slalom gate, even kind of whiskey throttling like we saw Simek. Oh!
Yeah, I mean, this stage is so insane because one of the cruxes is the very last gate. That has to be one of the most hard gates to clean.
It is, and you almost forget about it by the time you get to the finish line. 23:52, Boston Bryant moving into the number 4 spot as we look at Lucas Dodora on that frameworks. Downhiller, Mountain Creek is the home mountain. Definitely not used to seeing this much dust out there in Long Island. But he is making short work of it here, keeping it tight. He had to throw a foot up high, but able to, somehow able to over corner and keep the rubber side down. Making that frameworks enduro frame work for him. Times ticking by, 22 the time to beat. Time for Lucas, 24:39. And white flags all the way down, back to the top. Well, if there's a rider who can dominate a raw slalom, it's the big diesel on course right now, Kyle Strait. This rider is deceptively fast when it comes to slalom. He looks like he's cruising, and at the bottom, he's a second ahead of everyone else.
Oh yeah, you can never count Lyle out of a dual slalom race. He's looking strong here. Will this shake it up? Don't forget the crux at the bottom, that final gate, so technical. Nice work, gets the white flag.
23:75, 23:75. Looks like that's going to move him into the 5th spot as we go back to Connor Kassler at the top. Ripping through here on run number 1 of the raw slalom. And Connor Kassler making smooth work of this raw slalom course.
Whoa.
Making it look much easier than it is. One more gate to go, and he does make it legal just barely with that little bit of a crux over the end. 23:25 as we look to Luca Cometti, ready to drop in, a multi-time dual slalom national champ. Knows how to attack these types of courses, and is, as we said, is a tactician. Slowly breaks down each one of his race runs, make sure he does exactly what he needs to do and nothing more. You can hear those brakes working just where they need to. Nice and tidy through the logs, now back on the gas. One more very crux gate, and it will be white flag to the finish. Luca Cometti, 23:59.
Which is faster than his run 1 time. Let's see if it moves him up.
Well, he's sitting 8th right now as they run. 6 points from stage 1, 11 points from stage 2. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on this track. Shreddy Reynolds is getting ready to try and tear every berm apart. Every rut will be destroyed after this run. And pedaling out of that corner into the logs, getting buck wild, keeps the feet on, pushing a hard gear.
Whoa,
and somehow able to bend that Kona around the final gate, 23:34. And how about that, Cam? Still by over a second. Tristan Lemire holding on to the number 1 spot here in the raw slalom. As we go back to Cody Kelly, currently sitting 6th overall, so a big consequence on this run.
Trying to beat a 22.92, so a fast time. 6th fastest time so far in run number 1 for Cody Kelly.
So Cody on his bid here at the finish. Keeps it legal. Into the timing app we will go.
He goes faster than run number 1. He's got a 22.78 now. Maintaining same position overall, but moving into 5th place overall in the raw slalom.
Next we have Max Clark in the gate.
So Max Clark sitting on a 5th place from stage number 1. Definitely within striking distance to shake up the overall if he has a good showing here in raw slalom.
And he makes it legal around the last 2 gates, and a challenge for the top time into 3rd, 22.84. Sorry, into 2nd overall on this stage, 22.84. Still, though, Tristan Lemire, 22.69 the time to beat with just 2 riders left at the top.
Look what that did to the overall, though. Max Clark with an overall number 1 next to his name as Nick Nesterov drops in.
Well, you know that Nick is going to be challenging for a top spot in this raw slalom. Nice and tidy through the crux, already grabbing pedals and no brakes into the logs. We saw a lot of riders back off to keep things smooth into those logs.
Oh, this could be big.
21.75, Nick Nesterov by almost a second.
Wow.
Finally unseating Tristan Lemire, and that is a 1-1 so far for Nesterov, with just 1 rider at the top ready to unseat here in the raw slalom. On course, Tegan Cruz, 21.75 the time to beat right now. He wants to challenge for that pole position for his teammate.
Look at the horsepower in those straightaways. Oh!
How did he keep that front wheel on the ground? It was pushing 2 tons of dirt out of that corner and somehow keeps it legal.
Pure willpower.
21.91, just 0.2 separating the 2 RE Bikes riders. So Tegan Cruz right now sitting in the number 2 spot. Nick Nesterov going 1-1 in the first 2 stages. And 1 more run on this raw slalom to try and shake things up. How about that run by Tristan Lemire, though?
I mean, that stood up for ages. Tristan now, after dropping that great time in raw slalom, adding that 3rd overall to his 9th, is currently sitting in 5th overall, so he's definitely used that as a springboard to launch himself up the rankings.
Well, and it changed just that quickly with this new ranking system rather than time. A rider like Tristan, who was maybe 2 or 3 seconds out on that tech rhythm, is now just right back in the swing of things with a 3rd place finish in the raw slalom after run 1. Just going through our top 10 right now in the men, Alex Blanner with 22 points. Luca Cometti, 9th with looks like 18 points. 17 points, Boston Bryant's tie for 17 points. Connor Kassler, but a faster overall time, so puts him in 7th. Cody Kelly in 6th with 13 points. We just mentioned Tristan Lemire with that 12-point total. Eddie Reynolds in 4th. Max Clark in 3rd with 9 points. And a battle at the top with 5 points, Tegan Cruz, and 1-1 for the RE Bikes ride of Nick Nesterov.
Out of all the strategies that exist with this race format, I'm pretty sure that winning every stage is a foolproof method.
Well, back in our ladies field, we've got a similar story, and again, a similar RE Bikes rider at the top with Kaylee Skelton going 1-1. Maddie Lloyd, again, going 3-2, just like we have in our men, sitting 2nd with 5 points, but a bit closer, Fionn Pitcock also sitting 5 points, and the times both in the 59-second combined range. So overall, same number of points and only 0.3 separating those riders so far. Now, that is the crux of this. The riders must attempt each of the technical climbs. They can't just decide to hit the beeline and pedal to the top. Otherwise, that is a DQ. So the riders must at least make an attempt on each of the 4 stages, and then hopefully we're going to be getting a little bit of heckling and quite a few walks of shame.
Now, separate categories for e-bikes and regular bikes?
This is the one time at Hard MTB where we are going to differentiate between the 2. What's funny is we don't differentiate between the SL e-bikes, the half powers, and the full power. If you get help, you get help. If you don't, you don't. That's how the climb section works.
Well, looking at some of the hops in these technical climb sections where there's not really enough space to bunny hop, you're going to have to be pedal kicking. You look at that and you go, I would love to have a motor on this section.
Yeah, but at the same time, the motor can be inconsistent. It may not engage when you want it to. It may have overrun and actually drive you past what you're going. So there's going to be a lot of kind of interesting things going on this. And what I think the best part about it is that this entire crowd is able to get right up on the fence. So crowd, it is time. We're going to have our first rider kicking off the climb, Olivia Silva. Once again, this is not a time trial. It is a completion event. So get yourselves up, cheer on these riders, and oh, our first dab. So that's going to be a 0 points on the first technical section for Olivia. Tech section number 2. This is the one that I'm deeming the impossible climb.
Yeah, it is insanity. This is the one I'm talking about that has a knee-high vertical wall.
I believe 3 points up for grabs here on this third climb.
What do you think, Mikey? What do you go with? Low seat or high seat?
I think it's kind of a middle ground because I honestly would use the seat to kind of help balance the bike and maybe even recenter at certain points.
There's strategies of how to use it. Sometimes when it's going to be really beneficial and sometimes it's going to be a detriment to have it really high up. So having the dropper post and being able to adjust is super important.
We mentioned that e-bike motor helping out. We saw right there Olivia was able to ratchet back and use the e-bike motor to kick, but it actually kicked too hard and lifted her front wheel. She lost balance and had to dab. So that's going to be a 0 for 4 there for Olivia. But let's hear it for the first rider to complete our technical climb.
Way to go, Olivia.
Now, folks, I know that was the first rider. They may have snuck up on you, but now it's time to get loud. This is what heckling and mountain bike racing is all about. Let's get behind these riders. This is your local girl, April Zastro, on the Ari.
It's heckling, but it's also cheering, you know. These rocky sections, they have to make it to the top within the minimum time and at least give an attempt at climbing these. They can't go around them. They got to go through them, even if it's walking through. As soon as you see that yellow flag go up.
But when it comes down to it, those points will add up to cash prizes when it's all said and done.
Well,
and we know he's attempted them several times, or he would not have put them on this course for someone else to try first.
Slow clap? How do you even peer pressure somebody in an amphitheater of mountain bikers? Slow clap? Mayumi riding the transition out of Washington, Auburn, Washington, her hometown. She's on the Eaves, right? Or is she on a regular bike?
She's full analog.
Regular bike.
And flat pedals, as we mentioned. That is like a double whammy of adding extra difficulty.
There we go. Mayumi playing to the crowd, seeing if they can give her some fuel for this second tech section, which is impossible. Braden, if you don't want to take your second stab at it, that's a good point. Each rider, if they choose to, they can try this climbing stage 2 times.
Yep. No, we're going to 1 try. I think they took a straw poll. There was no riders that wanted to do this twice.
All right, Mayumi, let's see if she can get through this one. Nope.
Oh, and that is going to be another scratch, but probably a very fast time there from Mayumi, as this is a non-weighted stage. And the next rider we're going to see is Sophie Allen, another analog rider, I believe.
All right, let's hear it for Sophie. Let's see if she can clean some of these tech climbs. Here we go.
Now, Sophie's an enduro racer by trade.
Come on now, there we go.
Our first rider to collect points.
Yeah, you get the idea, crowd. Way to be.
Oh, and full commitment there. Didn't even get clipped out before she tips over.
Based on the scoring system of these tech climbs, I feel like the final one, if she can make the first one, she might be able to make the final one. Let's see, she's going for the third one right now. Can she do this one? Not going to happen. Hey, what do you guys think?
Yeah, crowd here, what do we think? Do we think the man behind this amazing event needs to show us how it's done?
Yeah, come on, we would love to watch this.
Well, I don't think you get a choice in this matter. Time to go gear up, bud.
All right, I'll give it a go.
Yes!
Yes, Braden Bringers. He's going to throw on a helmet, but before he does, let's get these ladies up the hill. Taylor Osgard, the next rider to try and attack this course. Let's see if she can try and collect some points with Sophie Allen now in the lead.
All right, the bar has been set now for the women's field. Tech section number 1 has been stopped. Not going to happen here.
find a place to actually push it, as where riders picking the hard gear don't have enough horsepower to get it up and over these big logs and rocks.
Yeah, I mean, all the factors, where your seat post is, what gear you're in. I'm sure there's a lot of shifting throughout bottom to top of this climb as well if you're doing it right.
Well, here we go into section number 3 for Miss Osgard.
Here we go. Nope, not in number 3. I was just thinking about something. Bringing the rocks up to create these tech sections. I'm sure they use like a quad or something, but I like to imagine them carrying them like, I don't know, ancient Egyptians or something.
Last section, another dab there for Taylor Osgard with another flat pedal analog rider coming up next. That looks Fionn Pickstock, our next rider to attempt the climb. We know she knows how to handle the bike on the downhills. Let's see if that translates to the way up.
Here we go, tech section number 1 underway. Dab, yellow flag. Just a very minor dag.
Going into tech section 2, this is going to be the near impossible section.
I feel like anything is easier than number 2. Number 2 is ridiculous. I mean,
here we go. She's attempting. She's getting up. So Fionn still sitting in that top 3 overall from our gravity stages. For the gravity stages, its own separate event. So far, with Sophie Allen being our only rider to collect any points. Collecting those points from section 1, sector 1. And now we've got the Aussie rider, Maddie Lloyd, our first rider with clipless pedals, and she collects points on sector number 1. So that means it will be a time battle coming at you. Sophie Allen's time, 1:47. That's going to be a pretty much automatic win for her because our final rider in the ladies field is on a full-powered e-bike. Just for this hard MTB, makes her way into the final sector. Oh, gets hung up. As the 1:34.38, so a much faster time there for Maddie Lloyd, unofficially in the top spot right now with Kaylee Skelton on the full-powered e-bike. Now, this is going to be a necessary heckle through all these sections. Kaylee Skelton currently sitting in pole position. She's collected some points on sector 1. Let's see if she can make it up sector 2. Oh, she gets further than anyone so far. Now coming into sector 3. She can definitely collect some points here and some prize money. Is it going to be there? Oh, gets the motor running. Oh, foot down. And then one sector to go here for Kaylee Skelton. Can she hop that full-powered e-bike up both of those big vertical walls? And no, gets hung up on the bottom bracket there. And then the time of 1:12.82 for the e-bike. That's going to wrap things up for our ladies field on this tech climb. Now into our elite men, kicking things off, the Iron Man of Hard MTB 2026, Cody Johnson, full analog and flat pedals. I think I heard from the bottom, I don't want to do this. That means he's going to need all the support from you, crowd. He's had a rough go out here. He's doing this just to make sure he can get it to the final. Oh, still staying on.
Oh, no way. Oh.
And he makes it, Cody Johnson.
Yes. Hey, crowd, you just convinced him he wants to do this.
Here we go, collecting himself into the near impossible section. He's still on. Oh, the foot goes down.
To not touch foot to ground.
I think there was about 5 different wheel hops in there to keep his feet on the pedals. Here we go into sector 3.
Come on, Cody.
Oh! Crowd, let's get behind Cody right now. He's got to attempt this last sector after quite the battle here at Hard MTB. Push those pedals, Cody. One more hop. One more hop. Oh! And he will clock a time of 1:50 here on the technical climb.
Oh, we got some nice light coming in, some evening light. This is beautiful. Photographers, get your cameras out.
Well, the next rider up is going to be one of the most exciting riders on a bike, and he's on the full-powered e-bike.
Oh.
Mitch Ropolato on the Levo. S-Works Levo makes it through Sector 1, gets the hop up Sector 2.
On.
Is it going to be enough? Oh!
Nice try, Mitch.
Now let's see if he can get through, be the first rider to get through Sector 3.
Mitch Ropolato. Let's see if he can make this section his.
Oh, hops right into a hole, and it bounces him right back down the hill.
Here we go. Let's hear it for Mitch Ropolato. Make it in this 4th sector. Nope.
Oh, and another
Yellow
dab.
flags.
So, wow, that shows just how difficult these climbs are. Well, back to the bottom. It is time for Rome Winnie, the youngster out of Southern Utah on the analog rig. Picking a nice wide line on the way in, gets those pedals to drive through, and nice and smooth, almost no hesitation there. You can tell he's used to climbing up some rocky Utah terrain.
Well, will this be the first time we see anybody conquer Sector 2? Not going to be.
Well, now it's time to watch Sector 3 because Rome Winnie is trying to his attempt to try and be the first rider to clear this sector. Oh, he's so close. Oh, and the foot comes off right near the end. Let's see if he can make it up these two very large hops. He's been pretty good. Oh, and wheelies out right before the first hop. Completing the course there with only Sector 1 points. We go back to the bottom. Tristan Lemire. He's been our dark horse so far. Doing super consistent in the tech slalom, destroying the raw slalom with a top 5. And now trying to collect some points here in the hill climb. And oh, a dab on Sector 1.
Despite what happens here in the climb.
So Sector 3 now underway for Tristan. Gets about 2/3 of the way before he gets stuck in that no man's land.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag, so that's going to be a scratch top to bottom there for Tristan Lemire. My eyes don't deceive me. That should be Fergus Ryan.
You got it.
And he is away. GMBN mountain bike presenter now doing what he can to try and muscle that big propane up through Sector 1. Oh, he gets through just before the end of the sector.
Close. Let's hear it for Fergus entering the impossible sector. Yeah, keyword easier, not easy.
Here we go. Oh, just shy of that final log. Gets the front wheel up, and there's the stall out. So it's going to be yellow flags top to bottom there for Fergus Ryan.
Tommy's got strong legs. Tommy's got lots of bike skills. Tommy's getting the crowd going. I think Tommy's got something. Here we go, Tommy Zula.
Tommy's also from Ohio, where I don't think they had a hill this big within 100 miles.
Tommy travels.
Tommy does travel, and Tommy cleans that section with ease.
Oh, yeah.
And he's getting dabbed up on the way up. How about that? That's what we like to see in this climb section. Riders getting involved with the crowds. Where else?
Oh, he's going for it. Tommy's going for it.
He's going.
Oh, yeah,
he's got a line. He's got a line.
Trialsy method. Oh, yeah.
This is just like a pump track, except he's not going anywhere.
Yes. Oh, I got a good feeling about this, Tommy.
Come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy. Come on, Tommy. Come on. Oh!
Yes.
That was it, crowd. Yeah, I don't know how much effort it takes to bounce that many times on a full suspension mountain bike, but I can tell you it's not going to be an easy way to do it.
It's a couple squats for sure.
Collecting thoughts, getting that dropper into the position. And let's get behind him one more time, crowd. Tommy Zula, let's see if he can do what no rider has done. And oh, just as I say it.
Well, let's hear it for Tommy Zula.
People's champion right now.
Next.
Devin DeBrule on that new Ibis bike. That's why I couldn't spot it. I kept looking for a different brand. But we know he's going to be having some deity components on that bike. Let's see if they can help get him to the top, because I know the crowd's going to get behind. And this is your hometown boy, Devin DeBrule.
Get it? Nice!
Sector 1 ticked off clean, and he is charging into Sector 2. Momentum is your friend.
Oh.
Until it's not.
I mean, there's money up for grabs here. Bragging rights, money. What else could you ask for?
Oh, gets the pedal into the wrong position.
All right, Sector 4, not going to happen. Next.
As we look back towards the bottom, I think that's the camo pants of John Simek.
John, you love climbing or what? Just love it? Yeah.
This is exactly what he came here to do. That and the river wave.
Yes.
Well, John Simek on the full-powered e-bike. He's going to be trying to use that to his advantage. Drops the post, keeps the power level on.
Here we go. Nice one. John cleans Sector 1. Poised to attack Sector 3. What's he got for us? Go, 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 go. I think we got it. Come on now. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
We have a completion. Sector 3, the first rider.
Oh, man.
To get points on more than one sector.
Yeah, John.
This is pragmatism at his best. No expectations and therefore no disappointment. It's paying off for a guy like John Simek.
Not so much on Sector 4, but let's hear it for John Simek, cleaning Sector number 3.
And it looks like we're going to see another one of our analog riders holding it down. Cameron Joy, the next rider to attack this climb. And I know Cameron has been riding this bike up the hill every lap all week long. So he's going to be most familiar with climbing these sections.
Oh, made it look easy. Don't be fooled. That is not easy.
And there you go. Dropper post down. Harder gear into Sector 2. Tries to get the second ledge on momentum.
I think that's what's up. Here we go. Right as I say that, he's going to seat up. Oh, yeah.
But before he does, we got to let Cameron Joy to try see if he can be the first rider to clear this Sector 4 and collect some more points.
Hand plant
Hand
technique.
plant. I don't know if that's a yellow yet.
Yeah, they say no foot dabs. They don't say no
there it
hand
is.
plants.
The yellow flag is out. This is the mastermind, Braden Bringhurst. This has got to be nothing compared to the whole enchilada, right, bud?
I'll bet when he woke up this morning, he did not think this scenario was going to play out.
But he should have. Let's get behind him, Boise. This is the man who decided to be diabolical to everyone else. And he is lacing up the boots and getting amongst it with the best riders in the world.
Oh my gosh. He made that look way too easy.
That is efficient right there. Not a single amount of effort out of place. And I think we know why, because this sector we have dubbed the impossible.
Braden Bringhurst drops the seat post, attacks the impossible climb. Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how it is done.
Come on, people.
Every hard MTB competitor just dropped their helmet into their hands.
A tip of the cap.
Sector 3 coming into view. Braden Bringhurst, the mastermind, has already done the impossible. What is next?
Don't blink. Oh!
Did someone put rocks there?
Wow.
Did someone forget to put rocks on the course for Braden? I didn't see him run over any. That was insane.
He made it look flat. This is crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can understand what you're witnessing right now, just based on the mental fatigue for this young man, being able to complete these courses.
Here we go. Oh my, come on. Oh!
go!
Yeah, Braden!
He is still human, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah!
Braden Bringers has done the impossible, done Sector 3, and nearly pulls off a full pull here in the technical climb.
That was fun to watch.
Well, now he has just set the bar for the rest of the riders in this field. Alex Blanner is wasting no time. He saw exactly what needs to happen. Let's see if he has the power to weight ratio to get it done.
Alex Blanner on the e-bike.
No, analog.
That's an analog.
He's on the analog Cannondale. One more hop to go.
Come on now. You know it's possible. Let's do this. Yeah!
There it is, and he cleans the impossible.
Oh.
Now Sector 3, we saw Braden make this look like a sidewalk. Let's see if Alex can do the same.
Oh, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on.
He's still on course, and he cleans it. Well, here it is, folks. He needs all the energy you can give him. Let's get behind Alex Blanner, Sector number 4. Is it possible, folks?
Attack position.
Gets the hop, gets the front wheel high. He's moneying up.
Come on now. Come on now. Oh, oh!
And he does it! 10 points! The full pull! Look at that. The first person to give him a big hug is Braden Bringers, but let's hear it for the only man to complete the climb sector, all 4, Alex Blanner, 10 points.
That was sick. It's so great being able to watch so many accomplished riders not be able to pull it off. It really helps us appreciate how challenging this is.
Well, speaking of accomplished riders, Bas van Steenbergen, the king of crankworks, dabbing on Sector 1. So that's going to be a scratch on the first sector. 0 points out of 2. Now into Sector 2. We can no longer call it the impossible. We've seen 2 riders make it. Can Bas be the third? Gets that front wheel up the second ledge. He's got 2 more hops to go if he wants to try and get out of this sector.
Come on, Bas. You got this.
He needs a big pedal kick to get up.
Oh! If the seat was only down.
Approaching sector number 3. Oh, foot down there. And then 1 more sector to go for Bas van Steenbergen at the top. Sector 4, we've only seen 1 rider complete it. Will Bas be the second? And collect some much needed points here in the climb stage. It will be another scratch for one of our pros here in the climb. Boston Bryant going to be the next rider to attempt this climb. The outlaw rider on that intense spider. Oh, gets that front wheel just barely stuck in between a rock.
Crowd's getting behind him as he approaches Sector 2. I guess we got to call this the possible climb now.
Maybe hasn't quite developed those explosive muscle memories yet.
Show him he's wrong, Boston.
Seat low, pushing that slightly hard gear, gets the front wheel up, and then stalls out. With an XC racing background, this could play to his advantage. He knows how to pick lines. He knows how to balance a bike in technical climbs. Let's see if he can do it on a full-size enduro bike.
Good point. Cross-country background coming in hot. Seat at half staff. All right, we're donating to the Sector 1. A goggle donation.
Oh, don't worry. The cameraman's on us, Lucas. They'll be collected. So Sector 1 points already collected for Dodora. Now into Sector 2.
Oh, my.
Nice and tough up to the first 2 hops. Keeps his balance. Gets the hop up. He's still centered. He needs to get that pedal kick and drive to get the rear wheel up. Oh, just not quite enough.
So close.
Oh, and he goes outside the pylons. That is going to be a scratch as well. Lucas getting those prep bounces, getting the seat in the right position, getting the gear he wants.
Oh, we might be there. Come on now, I believe. Nice!
And it counts, white flag. So Sector 1 and Sector 4 points available there for Lucas Dodora. We'll wait to see how that tabs up with our points total. I believe that's 4 points.
I want everybody here right now, next time you're on a bike ride, think about this. When you get to that climb and you're like, not a chance, just give it a shot. See what happens.
Just see how far you can get.
Give it a shot.
Speaking of how far can you get, the big diesel is on course right now. And if I were this technical section and I were Rocks, I might be scared.
Yeah, Lyle.
Lyle gets through Sector 1 on that RE SLE bike. Now, Sector 2, the near impossible climb.
Oh, look at that bunny hop. Boosting.
Going for the trial style. Oh, and he gets bottom bracket. Let's see how he goes. Pushing a big hard gear.
Oh, yes.
Cam.
That was awesome.
Cam called it. Not even a hesitation. The diesel knows how to generate torque.
I just felt like he had that one. This one requires a bit more hopping, and he showed us in Sector 2 that he's got hop.
I just saw him reach down and adjust suspension. I wonder if he locked out the rear of the bike for these hops.
Oh. Yes, Kyle. Right.
Count it.
White flag.
I'm sorry, folks. I cannot stop laughing at watching the best bike riders in the world struggle so hard to just clear a little climb at the top. We know how difficult it is. We know how good these riders are. And to see something like that is both entertaining and hilarious at the same time.
Who do we got next?
This looks like Connor Kassler, another one of our analog riders, throwing down on the Yeti all week, easily through Sector 1.
Oh, look at that. He's already through Sector 1. Oh, yeah. I got a good feeling about this.
Oh, he got the front wheel in that bad spot behind that steep rock.
Yep, you're right.
Well, I'm sure that's the noise that Connor's going to be making here in about 10 seconds as he attempts Sector 3.
It's the first noise I make in the morning.
Pushing a real hard gear there. Not quite enough oomph to get over that last step. For most people I've seen, it's been a lot of boing, boing, boing.
Yeah, it's more pogo sticky. Oh! Can we delete that? Yeah, like the step counter. How about the pedal counter for any of the riders who are full regular bike all week out here?
Well, that's the downside. The regular bike doesn't have the electrical counter like the e-bike does that tells you how many times you pedal.
Man.
Well, speaking of how many times you pedal, Luca Cometti has been doing everything he can to set up his bikes to be for this hard MTB. Makes it nice and smooth through that first Sector 1. Now into Sector 2.
Nice, dude. Nice. Nice, dude. Come on now. Yes, Luca.
Luca through Sector 2. Just giving him a little bit of help. Maybe a little bit of extra weight on the bike.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, Luca. 3 white flags for Luca Cometti.
First e-bike to complete all 4 sectors. We've seen Alex Blander do it on an analog. This is going to be the tough one. Gets the front wheel up and over the first sector, readjusts the feet. Oh, and he got wedged.
Hey, so good effort there for Luca Cometti. Let's hear it for him.
3 out of 4 sectors.
We got Eddie Reynolds loading up in the start gate next. Come on, Eddie. Oh, making that corner look mellow. That was impressive.
This is going to be interesting. He's on the SL e-bike and on flat pedals. And as I say, that was going to be the detriment to his attempts here at the climb. He knows there is this separate e-bike category, so if he's not going to make it through a section, he's going to rip up it. Here we go, Sector 3. We saw him lose a foot. Can he save it?
The flat pedals bite.
He wants to challenge for possibly a podium and some prize money here in this separate non-weighted stage. And it is going to be just Sector 1 there for Eddie Reynolds on the e-bike with the Steez wheelie across the line.
That's okay. Eddie Reynolds still sitting in the top 5 for the overall, which, as we've mentioned a handful of times, this climb does not count for the overall.
Well, another rider that we should be seeing very good technical climbing abilities coming from Enduro, Cody Kelly, the Specialized rider. He's on that Levo SL, the mid-power e-bike. So getting that balance between lightweight and power efficiency. Choosing a very different line here through Sector 2, using the right edge. And tried to recorrect.
Come on, Cody. He's just out for a Saturday ride.
I think that's a normal Utah climb there on Sector 3. That's what we've seen the Utah riders do real well at it.
Casual climbing for Cody Kelly. A little alliteration for your Saturday evening.
And he somehow still got the rubber side down, gets the dismount.
A clunky
it will just be
catastrophe.
Once we complete all these riders, just a few more left, our top 3.
I just thought about something. Are the riders going to be coming into that final jump with the sun into their eyes on the downhill stage? That could play a factor.
They did check it out last night, and it is off to the rider's left, so it's not directly in front of the lip. So we should be seeing some good, tight racing. Sector 1, no problem there for Max Clark. Holy!
What?
What an efficient and creative line there through Sector 2. Max Clark. This kid is something special, folks.
What is he, on a tractor?
I think that Ibis new e-bike doesn't have a name. We might have to call it the tractor at this point.
Oh my gosh, the tractor!
The tractor in record time. I'm going to have to go to the clock. I think that might have been under a minute. It made it look not hard, and we've seen the best riders on the planet not complete 2/3 of this entire track.
I would love a slow-mo replay of Sector 2. He flattened it. Do we have Nick Nesterov?
We do, but it looks like we got a yellow flag there on Sector 1 for Nesterov. So that's going to be a scratch on the first sector in terms of points. Now hopping up into Sector 2.
Nick's like, whatever, man, I'm trying to win this event.
So Nick Nesterov doing his best to try and collect some points here, but he knows the real game for him is in the downhill overall. Speaking of said teammate, Tegan Cruz on the full analog RE bike is going to attempt his climb. Sector 1 with ease for the young man from Canada.
Stomped.
Sector 2, and Tegan, another new line, and makes it work perfectly. Now into Sector 3.
Wow.
Powering up. Look at the horsepower from the Pemberton local.
Some sea to sky climbing skills coming into play here for Tegan Cruz.
One more sector to go, and he is on quite the pace right here. Oh, the foot comes off. Tegan Cruz goes 3 out of 4 here on the technical climb, and that's going to be a wrap here for the hill climb stage. Let's hear it for all these riders once again here, Boise. Well, not only is there bragging rights available for those climbs, but the top times with top points in our men's and women's e-bike and analog field are taking home $1,000 cold hard cash. So we are going to get locked and loaded for our final stage, the downhill sector with the Showtime Money Booter. So don't go anywhere, folks. We've got one more sector, and it is the most exciting 2026 Hard MTB League Qualifier coming at you in just a moment. So looking up to the top, we have our first rider for the downhill sector in the gate, the Ari Bikes ride, April Zastro.
I think I got this.
Kicking things off for our ladies field. Well, in attack position, and now the beam has been broken. April Zastro has kicked off our fourth and final stage here at this Hard MTB League 2026 qualifying event. Makes her way through those tight drop sections, through the rock art, now into all these ledges. We've got a yellow, so that's going to be a time penalty here on the middle. And April Zastro will set a time to beat right there, 21 for our men, who has the potential to make a step on the podium. But we're going back to the top for our ladies. Right now on course, Mayumi Wakefield trying to move up and collect some valuable points. See if she can move from that number 6 spot up into maybe a top 5 position. She makes her way to the finish. 18.98 there on run number 2 for Mayumi. And that's going to keep her in that number 6 position as we look back to the top. Olivia Silva now on course. Currently sitting in the number 8 spot with that DSQ, so she just needs to make top to bottom all white flags, and she will set a great pace here to try and get into that.
There we go, Olivia. Knocking that DSQ out of her column for
1789, so that's going to move her up a few positions.
It really goes to show how technical the run-in is for the big jump. When they're riding the whip-off, it's all about just getting speed for that thing. But to ride this A-line and carry the speed and the line up and have the confidence to still hit that big jump is a big factor here.
Sophie Allen now dropping in. She chooses the B-line, but she does it with authority. She's going to set a killer fast time, 16.66. 16.66 now. Moving into the fastest time so far on our downhill sector. Time gonna be cruising through as soon as we get Taylor on course. 10 points needed to move into third right now. Taylor Osgord sitting on 11 points. She's third fastest on this stage so far. All she needs to do is move ahead of Maddie Lloyd or Kaylee Skelton in terms of time, and she could land herself on a podium. Taylor Osgard will break the beam. 16:09 the time on the clock. Just outside of that time of Maddie Lloyd. 16:06 the time for Lloyd, so not going to be enough.
0.03 of a second separating them in this stage.
Oh, that's a later thing.
Fionn Pickstock smooth through the bumps.
Currently
White flag, yellow flags.
Currently sitting in third. Is she going to walk away with a podium here? 16:08, still sitting in that number 3 spot with 9 points now. Looks like it will be Fionn Pickstock holding on to that bronze medal position with 9 points. Maddie Lloyd now with 7, doing what she can to try and catch Kaylee Skelton, but it looks like it's going to be a silver medal all the way from Australia. Let's hear it for Maddie Lloyd.
Maddie Lloyd
just by a 10th.
Straight into that top spot now. But Kaylee Skelton yet to post a time here in stage number 3. Can she answer back?
Well, if anybody can, it is a multi-time downhill national champion, defending national champion in downhill. Kaylee Skelton using that Ari Bikes full e-bike to her advantage. 14.42. Smoking fast time. And I don't have to be all that good at math, but right now having a 1-1-1 on the scoreboard is a pretty easy way to take home a championship here at Hard MTB, as Fergus Ryan, the first of our men to drop in, wasting no time here on the downhill. Gets the double now into the Showtime booter. This is for you, folks.
Oh!
And Fergus makes the line, 13:73. Cody Johnson, the next rider on my start list, the Iron Man here of this qualifier of Hard MTB. He's going to cruise it down. Let's get behind this young man out of San Diego. Nice and smooth through that top section. White flags the whole way so far. So this run will count for Cody. And it will be a time of 16:31. So let's hear it for the Ironman of this edition of Hard MTB. Right back up to the top. Rome Winnie trying to improve on his run number 1 time of a DQ. Still white flag so far for Rome. Gets the air into the rock guard, now off the drops, gets the double off, nose it in, into the final jump. Gets the whip for the crowd. 12.61 and a killer time there for the young man from Utah. Saving his wheels, 13:36, but the red flag means that one's not going to count. Devin DeBrule now on course. Local boy making that Ibis work for him, hopping through the rock section, gets the double line out into the final booter. Nice and steezy. Time for Devin DeBrule, 13:37.
Tommy Zula sitting in 13th place right now, looking to improve on a 13.3.
The people's champion right now on a course. Tommy Zula, he thrives off your energy, crowd. Let's get behind him over this finish jump.
Oh, yeah, 12.8. He improves his time. Will it be enough to move up the rankings here?
So now we look up to the top. John Simek, the next rider we're going to see loading in the gate. On the full-powered e-bike. We know he's going to be hitting the big jump. How about that high line right there? Legal just barely missing out on that second compression. White flag so far. Gets the double drop into the final dub. Gets the backflip.
Why not? Crowd loves it. John Simek going upside down and posting a smoking time.
Lucas Dodora coming at you rapid fire, folks. Don't blink. You might miss one of our downhill riders. Lucas Dodora using every inch of that framework travel.
What's this time going to be? 12.35.
By almost a second into the green. 12.35 the time for Lucas Dodora. So Bass now trying to challenge, currently sitting in 11th with 38 points. The magic number is 28 points. So Bass really going to have to dig deep if he wants to try and make it close to that qualifier for the final. 12.03 the time for Bass, or 12.53, excuse me, for Bass. 12.53. So that is going to move him up into 11th, but still on the outside looking in as Kyle Straight is leaving nothing on track right now.
Kyle's on a tear right outside the bubble there in 9th place overall.
Did he just take a pedal before the jump?
Look at that time.
11.12. Absolutely blistering time for Kyle and doing exactly what he needed to do, moving him into the number 8 spot, beating out Connor Kassler. Connor still at the top, waiting to drop in, tied at 28 points. Is going to come down to who does better here in the downhill. Nice and smooth over the finish. Cameron Joy, 12.83. 12.83 for Cameron. So a big improvement on his run 1 of a DSQ. Let's see where that stacks him up in the points total. That moves him, I believe, into 11th. And now the man trying to make that qualifying position. He's currently 9th, looking in. Connor Kassler needs to try and bump some points to get ahead of Kyle Straight. He runs at 12.40. Looks like an identical time from run number 1, so no improvement there.
Kyle Straight dodging that bullet, holding on to that final transfer spot, 8th position.
Now Boston Bryant on course. He's currently in 10th. He could be another rider to upset that balance into the qualifier, 12.16 seconds. 12.16 seconds the time, and he does bump Kyle Strait out of a qualifying position into 9th. So right now, Boston Bryant has stamped his way into the finals in the fall, pushing out the legendary Kyle Strait, with several riders still left at the top, including this one. One of the wildest runs we saw. Alex Blanner now on course for run number 2. Somehow lets that bike eat after tomahawking, and an 11:85. Alex Blanner, 25 points, comfortably in 7th place right now, with Luca Cometti wasting no time dropping into his 2nd run. Currently outside looking in. DSQ on run number 1 for Luca. Time on run number 2, a 12.13. And that bumps Boston Bryant out of the qualifying position. Luca Cometti into 8th. On course, Mitch Ropolato right now, currently 6th, going absolutely ludicrous speed through the rocks. Mitch Ropolato, 11:37. That is faster than Nick Nesteroff's time from run number 1. And that moves Mitch into 4th right now, 18 points, with just a few riders left at the top. Kyle Strait holding the 2nd fastest time in the downhill, and he's currently not qualified for the fall event as Cody Kelly drops in. Currently sitting in 6th right now.
Oh, the rodeo nature of those log drops.
Cody Kelly breaks the beam. The time coming in 11:74. Just in front of that time of Tristan Lemire, but not enough to move him up position. So still in 6th. Tristan Lemire hanging on with a tie on points.
Ooh, Eddie on course.
Eddie Reynolds, super smooth and steezy. Will it pay off here in time? 12:44 with the style. Eddie Reynolds currently sitting in 8th right now, bumping Luca Cometti out of the qualifying position.
Bubble spot for Eddie Reynolds.
Now we look up to the top. Tristan Lemire, this is the guy looking on the outside of the podium, trying to find a way to collect a hard MTB podium position. Tristan Lemire out of Quebec right now is letting that little Da Vinci eat, gets the double in to the finish.
Whoa.
He's sitting 5th overall, 11:76. New fastest time, Tristan Lemire.
Tristan Lemire absolutely attacked that run.
And look at that, after all 3 stages, only half a second separating Cody Kelly and Tristan Lemire with the exact same amount of points. And just 3 riders left at the top. Max Clark with 16 points, Tegan Cruz with 6 points, and Nick Nesteroff now tied with 6 points. This could be anybody's game right now. Max Clark is on a ripping pace right now, bouncing that Ibis through every single one of those drops. Time coming in. 11:51 for Max Clark. 5th fastest overall, keeping 6 points. And just 2 riders at the top right now, dead tied, and look at the difference on time, Cam. 21 hundredths of a second separating these riders after 3 complete stages. 2 more runs to go. Tegan Cruz gets the double up top, gets the double in. He's currently in pole position. Can he hold on to it? 10:92!
Breaks the 11-second barrier. Tegan Cruz. Nick on course.
Now the gap, only 0.07 of a second. Nick Nesterov just needs to keep the rubber side down if he wants to bid for a championship run here at the Hard MTB League Qualifier. His time on run number 2, 11:28, so an improvement, but it looks like cumulative time will go to 5 points. Nick Nesterov, your winner! How about that, ladies and gentlemen? 4 head-to-head stages, 3 cumulative ranked stages, and it comes down to the final rider on the final run. And how about this for time, Cam? There's 1 point separating first and second, but after 3 stages, 2 runs apiece, the gap, 0.17 seconds between Tegan Cruz and his RE teammate, Nick Nesterov. Ladies and gentlemen, what a race. Hard MTB League Qualifier. Let's put your hands together for all of these riders one more time.
In third place for the ladies, one heck of a birthday present. Let's put your hands together for Fiona Pizza. Second place for our elite women here in this Hard MTV 2026 qualifier, all the way from Australia, dealing with broken bikes, dealing with new bikes, still landing on the podium. Let's hear it for Miss Maddie Lloyd! And your winner here, 2026 Hard MTV League Qualifier. And we say win, we mean in commanding fashion, going 1-1-1 across the board. Doing it for RE Bikes, your multi-time downhill national champion. Let's hear it for Miss Kaylee Shelton!
You guys all have your flash on?
Thank you. Such good work. Good job.
Let's get those prizes up in the air. These hand-carved podiums. These are pieces of the final jump ramp that's going to be taken down and rebuilt. So not only a bit of history, but tons of bragging rights with those awards. Let's hear it one more time. Your podium, third place, Fiona Pitstock, second, Maddie Lloyd, and your champion, Kaylee Skelton. Third place today, doing it for Ibis Bikes out of Carmichael, California. Put your hands together for Max Clark. And this was a tight battle that came down to the very last run of the day. These riders were trading bouts like heavy metal or heavyweight fighters. And coming out into the number 2 spot, your 2025 winner, and now with the silver for RE Bikes, let's hear it for Tegan Cruz! And rounding out the podium, earning a spot into the finals here in the fall, doing it for RE Bikes. He took home stage wins in stage 1 and 2, held off a hard-charging Tegan Cruz for third place in stage 4, but taking home the overall win with 5 points for RE Bikes. Let's hear it for Nick Nesterov! Nick's legs might be a little tired.
This is where we're landing all practice.
Let's hear one more time for your elite men's podium here, the Hard MTB League Qualifier. Max Clark in third, Tegan Cruz with the silver, and your champion, Nick Nesterov. Huge shout out to the Fishel family, the Bringhurst family, and all of those that we may have
have forgotten.
Sick,
And for my co-host, Cam McCall, wherever he may be.
All right, we are here with third place in our elite field, and 16 years young as of just a couple days ago, and made the trip 15? I was told 16. Now people are lying to me. Even younger, challenging the best riders in the world and making the trip over from very different normal riding conditions. Where are you from, and how different is it at home compared to this?
Yeah, I'm from Wales in the UK, and it's normally just raining, so I'm not used to dry, warm weather. So yeah.
I'm sure you haven't had a crash with that much dust in your helmet before either, like you had in the raw slalom.
Yeah, definitely not. It's just like, yeah, in my mouth everywhere.
Well, you literally dusted yourself off, made it work, and came back to score a podium position among the world's best. And just turning 15 years old a few days ago, what was the progression like when you showed up here at the beginning of the week compared to dropping in on your final run here for the downhill?
Yeah, honestly, it was so cool because my suitcase or bike, nothing arrived on the first few days. So the Taken Cycles guys helped me out to get a bike for now. And then my bike eventually came. So yeah, it was cool. I ended up good.
Well, this seems to be a trend here in the ladies field, having bike mechanicals, having delivery issues, having travel issues, and this community here at the Hard MTB has just made it happen to let all of you riders succeed. And how good does that feel to take someone that was kind enough to offer up their own personal bike, let you practice, and now to put your own bike on a podium after that help?
Yeah, honestly, they're all so amazing, the whole crew. Thanks so much to all the Hard MTB crew for getting me the plane and flight scholarship. They did amazing, and yeah, thanks to my family as well for getting me here.
Well, I think you did all of them proud, backing out not only with amazing runs on all of these courses, but a podium at just 15 years young and getting a berth into the finals in the fall. Are we going to see you back here in October?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, what was that?
Looking forward to it.
That's what we like to hear. Congratulations. Let's hear it. Third place for our elite women, Fiona Pickstock. Here with silver medalists in our elite women's field, Maddie Lloyd, probably one of the furthest trips of all our competitors out here. Made her way all the way from Australia, now going home with not only a silver medal, but an invite to the finals here in October. Is this going to be a big part of your season going forward?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a great opportunity, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, this is your first time at a Hard MTB League. Is this anything like you've ever ridden anything in Australia or any other courses all over the world?
Not really. It's very different, but very fun, and stoked for the opportunity through Ignite, through Caroline Buchanan. It's really good to have that support.
Awesome. So on that kind of scholarship program that she sets up to send riders over to these international events, and it seems like you did her proud here, backing it up not only with the podium and a berth into the final, and a bunch of prize money to go home with it. I hear we also had some bike problems leading into the week, and the crew out here at Hard MTB was somehow able to make it happen and get you on a bike to compete.
Yeah, huge thanks to them and Specialized, made it all happen. Yeah, wouldn't be able to ride without them.
Well, you made it work for them. I'm sure they're stoked on your result. We look forward to seeing you back here in the fall, possibly challenging for a win. Congrats, second place, Maddie Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
We are here with probably the most dominant rider of Hard MTB in its short-lived history, Kaylee Skelton, not only taking home the win at the exhibition event back in the fall of 2025, now taking the win here in 2026 for the qualifier in commanding fashion, not only winning the first tech rhythm stage, the raw slalom stage, winning the climb stage, which is its own separate race, and then holding it down in the downhill to the final run. How do you keep yourself mentally strong through so many different courses with such a wide array of field?
Yeah, just give myself the time to just settle down if I need to. Don't overdo it, don't overcook it, but most importantly, if I'm having fun, then I'm going to be in it, and this event is a blast. They're always pushing us to our maximum, and it's one of the most fun events I've ever attended, with everyone out there all riding together. Everyone's here supporting each other. It's really cool. The whole mountain's filled with smiles, and it's a really cool experience.
That's awesome. That's something that every single one of the riders we've interviewed here at the podium has been very adamant about. It's more a community sense out here than any other mountain bike race that you've ever been to. All these riders know how difficult and how consequential these courses are, and you're all helping each other, give and take, pushing and elevating each other in this race format, and it pays off not only for riders like you on the podium, but then young riders like we saw the two youngsters chasing you down from the other side of the world.
Yes.
And are you a little bit worried about what the youth is bringing? Do you think you got that little bit of mental stamina from years of doing this?
Hopefully I have some stamina, but I'm just so stoked to see the women's field. Okay, I'm so stoked to see the women's field just growing and elevating so much. These girls are sending it, and everyone out there is just pushing it to the max, and it's amazing to see. So I hope everyone keeps just growing in their technicality skills and their speed, their smiles, their happiness, and everyone wants to just ride smoother, faster, and be more contented.
Now, I gotta ask, because your partner was also a champion, he's also your teammate, is there a little bit of a bragging rights for who gets to drive the worst shift on the way home from these races, or is it just a trade-off? You both win, you both have to take a nap.
We do a pretty good job sharing the drive home. Yeah, we make sure we're both taken care of, so no competition there, just looking out for each other.
Well, that seems like a winning formula. Your champion here, women's Hard MTB League Qualifier, Kaylee Skelton.
Thank you everyone for supporting us, Brayden, the whole crew for putting on this event. It was incredible, and thank you Relight for keeping us going all day, all week. I don't know what I would do without that. Ari Bikes, Ian, the whole crew is here, everyone taking care of us, and yeah, I think Ari did a pretty good job out there, and to all the rest of the sponsors, thank you for taking care of us and supporting us. Another one down, and we're looking forward to the October round to see what we can do again.
Sounds good. You all have targets on your back now, so we'll see you in the fall. Congratulations one more time, your women's champion, Kaylee Skelton. So we are here with what I've been calling my dark horse all day long, the young man out of my hometown area, Northern California. He's a little bit further north, closer to the mountains, and it shows with his riding. Max Clark doing it for Ida Cycles. You came out swinging here in the seeding runs into that top 3 position, and you held on to it against some of the world's best on what might be the most difficult tracks. Have you ever ridden anything like this, and what do you think about your area, where you grew up, and how it helped you here in the Hard MTB?
Oh, I've definitely never ridden anything like this, but I think riding a mix of everything. You know, I ride a lot of BMX and dirt jumps, and then I try to mix in slalom. I was preparing. I was riding the mountain bike on the BMX track, and I was riding up creeks on the e-bike. But growing up, I mean, NorCal, we have a little mix of everything, but probably nothing like this. But I'm glad to represent NorCal here.
Well, you definitely did that, making your way onto a podium against some of the world's best. And not only on the podium, if you look at some of the riders that didn't even make the qualifying top 8 position for the fall event, you're among a very elite list. People like Kyle Straight, people like Bassman Steenbergen, they aren't in the final. You have made it with a commanding fashion in the bronze. You know how you trained for this one. Now you have a little more idea on what you're in for. Knowing that Brayden and this Hard MTB crew is going to step it up for October, what do you think is in your kind of plans leading up to the event, and how do you think you're going to pull it off, maybe back up another podium here in October?
I guess I got to keep doing the same thing. It's working, so probably get back on the BMX, the BMX track, and I got to practice my ruts, so I'll probably get on that. It's pretty dry. I don't know if we'll be in that. Maybe closer to October.
Well, you made it work for you, and congratulations. 3rd place at your first ever Hard MTB event, and stomping your way into that October final. We expect big things from you, and we're excited to see you finish out. Congratulations once again, Max.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, bud. Well, we're here with 2nd place here in this 2026 qualifier and the 2025 exhibition winner. Differences between 2025 and 2026. What did we feel about the courses, and what did we feel about the racing?
Yeah, this year was definitely brought up to another level. Just raised the intensity all around, and yeah, it was wild getting through it this week. But yeah, it was awesome racing.
Awesome racing. Now, we need to touch on the courses compared to the event just a few months ago, and now this being a qualifying event. You saw the level change, and you know, according to Brayden, this is going to be another step up for the final. Are you prepared? Do you think about some training programs at home, or is it just kind of a show up and adapt to what's here?
Oh, I definitely do my best to prepare and train for the week here, but yeah, Brayden and everyone is doing such a good job at making it as hard as possible, and yeah, I've never been challenged so much in a week. So it's, yeah, there's no better feeling or better reward than getting through these tracks. And yeah, so grateful to be a part of it.
Well, not only are you part of this qualifying event, you've earned a berth into the final. This had a massive prize payout just for a qualifying event, over $30,000 for our men's and women's field, over $100,000 going into the final. Does that give you a little extra motivation, a little extra pressure? Which side of the coin are you on?
Oh, it's definitely amazing to have the prize purse attention brought to mountain biking, and I hope it wakes up the rest of the sport. But yeah, it's amazing for all the athletes. We all really appreciate it, and everyone's gonna bring it in the fall.
Well, we looked forward to seeing it, Tegan. Great job, commanding second place. It came down to that final run, and I don't know if you heard, 0.07 separating you and Nick on time after 4 stages of racing. Amazing stuff. We look forward to seeing you in the fall. And again, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
All right, we are here with the men's champion of this Hard MTB qualifier for 2026. A man who's been on a tear from the start of the year, backing up a second Sea Otter dual slalom win, now here with a Hard MTB win and dominating the first 2 stages. It came down to the very last run, separating you and your new teammate, Tegan Cruz. You knew he won the event in 2025. Did that give you a little bit of extra fire here on that final run for 2026, knowing that it was not only your teammate, but also you'd already won one of the biggest slalom races of the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome having a teammate that can like push you. And Tegan's such a good kid. It's like it almost feels bad when we're like battling for the win and I take it from him, because I want him to win like just as much as I want to win. It's really cool for the team and for Ari and all the sponsors and stuff. But yeah, super cool day. Like Kaylee crushed it, and Tegan and I were just going back to back and pushing each other. And honestly, in practice too, we were just like helping each other get through the track, because I'm sick. Day 1, day 2 is like a wake up call when you come here, because you're just like, there's guys that are like quick learners, and then I'm like kind of a slow learner with like gnarly rhythms, because I just think too much and like really take my time through it. So like the first couple of days here, you're just like, I need to just try to qualify for the final. And then like as the week gets on, you can like start opening up and seeing how it goes. But yeah, it's cool to back up Sea Otter. I mean, you want to win everything, but obviously it's like you can't win everything. But it's cool to go back to back with that. Like riding we have a proto slalom bike, so been riding that thing pretty good and try to get that prep for the final in October.
Well, yeah, I know Cam was asking all week long, what's under the diaper, under that RE bike, and that prototype has been working for you, both at the first event of the year and now here at this Hard MTB League Qualifier. Do we think we're going to be able to see maybe what's under the diaper by the time the fall rolls around, or are we going to still keep the magic sauce until that bike is fully ready for consumers?
Well, so we have 3 bikes we've been racing with covers. A lot of people think it's just one bike, but we have 3 different bikes. The one I was on today, that'll probably be the first one to be able to like come into production and stuff. So maybe for the October one, you can have it on the cover, but that's not my fault. I just get told what to do.
You just ride the bike, right?
Yeah, I ride and put it through its paces, test it out.
Well, that's why they take you the big bucks. Speaking of big bucks, you took home a great check for winning this event, knowing that there's even more on the line going into the finals here in October. One of the biggest prize purses we've seen in mountain biking. Is that going to make you focus a little bit more maybe on this Hard MTB style event going into October? I know that's kind of late in the season. Most of the other races are done. Or are you going to kind of focus on your main program of what you've been doing, how you've been progressing your career, and just keep that going into this final event?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a really cool payday that Adam and his family and everyone have brought into this event, and like obviously that'll take a bit of focus this whole summer, you know, thinking about that. But I have like the way I look at like if I want to prep for a single race, I look at like 3 races before that I have to like hit my marks at all those and like get certain results to like know that I could do it at, let's say, you know, the October final. So yeah, just focus on the season. I have a couple other slalom races I want to do well at, and then I'm racing a lot of downhill this year, so try to get up to speed on the big bike again, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes all year. But yeah, just hit my marks, win a couple more races that I really want to win if I can, and I'll show up in October and start winning the best man win. So yeah.
Well, today in this qualifier, you were that man, and your partner Kaylee was that woman. So huge congratulations to not only you two as a couple, to your supporting sponsors, RE Bikes, SRAM, Relight, 60, all of those that support you. They obviously picked a winning horse in this race. We can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us coming in October. And once again, congratulations.
Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it.
That's like what? Thanks, man.
Good job, bud.
I'm smoked. Sorry.
Go for it. You start.
What a show, the 2026 Hard MTB League Qualifier. To think that from the exhibition last October, all the adjustments were made to the course, new challenges for the riders, pushing the most talented riders on two wheels. Now we've taken 8 from the women, 8 from the men, all the way into the finals coming up in just a few months. You got to imagine they're going to make some adjustments for that course as well. Up in the ante yet again.
Well, we've seen what the crazy masterminds came up with between the exhibition event and this here, the qualifier, and we can only imagine that they're going to be building into a whole nother planet here on the finals for the Hard MTB League Finals coming at you in October. But once again, thank you all to all of our fans, spectators, the crew here at the event, and thank you all at home for joining us and watching this Hard MTB League Qualifier. Cam, thank you as well for coming out. I know you had a great time. Are we going to see you here in October with the rest of us?
I will be here, man, 5 months away. At this point, you have to imagine the riders kind of have an idea of what to train for, but most importantly, they know to expect the unexpected. We'll see you in October.